everyone, and welcome to the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I am a bereavement specialist. Hello, Susan. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Lisa. Welcome. So nice to see you. I know you're away. You don't have your typical background up there, but we're
Oh,
so happy to have you here today.
thank you.
I'm Susan Capurso, end of life doula and legacy specialist.
Yes.
And I'm
And
very
today,
excited to meet our guest today.
yes, we have a really nice guest. She's from California, and she was introduced to me actually by my daughter. So her name is Aneta Marten, and she is a certified hypnotherapist. She enjoys working with clients, taking the challenges to changes. Through her personal journey of self-help, she found the key to one's mind and is now ready to help others rewrite their life script. What a wonderful thing to do, Aneta. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Sure.
Oh,
Tell
you're
us a little
welcome.
bit
So
about
nice
how
to
you
meet
got,
you.
sorry. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with this area. This is such an interesting area.
Well, through my challenges, there were a lot of opportunities. I searched for help in many places. Sometimes they were right, sometimes they were wrong, but I knew that I needed more. And there's just parts to the puzzle to all of us. So there's lots of information out there, and it's just what resonates within. And I found a place where I went through hypnosis, understanding where my belief system came from, where my emotions, where my thoughts came from, what really ran the show, which was my makeup, how it all came about, what I was taught, what I believed. And I found through hypnosis, I finally found that peace of mind. It just opened the door and it just gave me that aha moment where I finally felt like I found the right place. But of course, I needed more. How does this work? Why does this work? I'm kind of one of those people where, show me in, and I'm from that, I got to feel it, got to see it. So that opened the opportunity for me to study on and to understand really how this works and why it's so important and why it's something that I can give to others, not only due to my own personal experiences with grief, but just overall in so many challenges that we have, and especially in this lifetime and in this moment. We've evolved quite a bit, we've modernized quite a bit, and we're in a place where if we can help others without Western medicine. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but Eastern medicine, there is a truth to this. And this shows us that our mind is so powerful, what we think we become. And if we believe in something with our whole heart, we can get there. But if we go off of fight, flight, and freeze, which are those natural responses that are only there in life or death, it's very hard to navigate through life. And then we have just exposure and support and, kind of finding our people. So I found my people. I feel like I found my purpose, and I just enjoy working with people and giving back the gifts that I've been giving myself through this journey.
Wow,
Wow.
that's wonderful.
Lisa and I are like, wow, we speak to a lot of people, but it's
We
it's
do.
really fun for us to speak to different types of people that have such interesting backgrounds and reasons why they do the things that they do. So thank you so much for sharing that. I believe in those other modalities as well. Do everything you can. Bring Tai Chi in, bring massage in, meditation and yoga. We talk about all those things. And I think yours is a topic that isn't talked about enough. So that's why I'm really excited today to be able to share this with our listeners.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. And
so start by explaining a little bit about how this really works. Like, how does the mind do this? How does this happen?
well, the mind is a powerful thing, right? It can imagine, it can pretend, it can decide to check out when it needs to. It holds our memories, it holds our belief systems. Our mind is just something that, we use it when we need to, and sometimes when we don't need to. It can do whatever it wants. But at the end of the day, we own our mind, and we can create a path to where we have a safe space. When we work through emotions that are overwhelming and we're emotional, that part of our brain does shut down. We go into that immediate fight flight response. And that's the part where the I don't know, how do I get there? What am I doing wrong? And then it goes even deeper. If we've had hurt and we never dealt with it, and we were perhaps shamed for it, or we were not taught to have emotions, then we're just kind of like, what do I do? What do I do? And we just kind of float around, and we go into this survival mode. So with hypnosis, what we do is we create like this path where imagine, we're in the subconscious mind, there's all these beliefs, up until the age of 8, our beliefs, the things that we believe, what we heard, what somebody told us, we believe all of that. And that becomes how we kind of navigate through life. So through hypnosis, what we do is we create the path where we kind of create this filter, and we tell the subconscious mind, hey, listen, there are other options. We don't need to hold on to fear or emotions that no longer serve us. How can we replace them? How are they important to me? One of the biggest things I find is defining what things mean to us. Yes, we can Google an emotion, we can go to a dictionary, we can sit in a room full of people. Everybody's going to have a different experience of what the word means or feels to them. But once we figure out what it means to us, then we look at the tools on how do we move forward? How do I reframe? How do I reset? How do I get to the point where I'm not only alive, but I'm also living? Or maybe the opposite. Some people are living and they're not alive. So it's about finding the space where you are safe, where you change your belief systems. And again, we don't dismiss them. We never say, hey, that feeling wasn't emotional. You don't deserve to have that feeling. Your feelings are yours. They absolutely belong to you. But we can also comfort ourselves. So through hypnosis, we find that comfort. We work on changing the belief system. We work on reframing, resetting, and becoming really just the best versions of ourselves, which is already there. We were born with that gift. But sometimes that gift, gets put aside because we either naturally become caretakers for others, we don't know how to take care of ourselves, or we go into just fight flight, where we just either go into a depression or we go into this flight where we're just running around avoiding. So it's about accepting. It's about becoming who you are. And again, the biggest thing is defining what these words mean for you and making choices. We all have choices. We all have decisions.
That's
So if we
right.
choose to
Everything you're saying is
go,
I'm over the moon about, because you're speaking very clearly and relatable, and I have a thought and then I have a question for you. And my thought is just that I've been following Michael Singer. Do you know who he is, the
no,
author?
unfortunately, I have not heard of him.
The Untethered Soul, but he does a almost a daily podcast, and it's all about the things that you're talking about surrendering in
Mhm.
your life because of past circumstances or things that have happened, and we never fully resolve them and let them go the right way,
Mhm.
in order to move forward. So a lot of that is kind of related towards the surrendering process. But my first question for you is, so hypnotherapy, right? It, I know you mentioned that it really helps people who are grieving. So that's after they've lost a loved one. But what about people facing end of life? Have you ever helped clients in that respect? Maybe people with a terminal diagnosis or a year before they pass or anything like
Yes.
that?
Yes, I have. So I've been very blessed to work with many, many different people, many organizations. I as a cancer survivor myself, kind of felt this experience like, wow, is this the end for me, and trying to understand what will happen. And so when I reached out to the community and worked with a lot of cancer patients, it was all about them finding peace, making resolutions for the things they have or haven't done yet in life, sometimes making peace for maybe something they felt they did wrong, or maybe even finding the opportunity to even pretend that all of their dreams and wishes and desires came true. So it gave people a peace of mind, helping them release their fears, understanding that life and death are very natural. So these are things that help us calm down. And when we let go of the fear, we let go of any resentment, we let go of the unknown. This is unknown, but if we really think about it, life is unknown as well. So life or death, it's almost the same thing. It's just in a different aspect. And then we go even deeper to what are your belief systems? Do you believe that you come back? Do you believe you see your loved ones? And some people believe, well, I don't want to see those people anymore. So, let me just move on. So it is an opportunity with making peace within yourself and what is it that you believe in and creating a vision of whatever it is that's out there that you believe in.
That's so
So
beautiful.
does, yeah, it is. That's beautiful. But does it work with everyone? I just hear that sometimes people are sort of blocked against it and aren't open because you need to be open, right?
Right.
To it.
Well, Being open is, is a part of curiosity, and we're always learning. So sometimes when we become very desperate because of fear, we may not believe something because if we've had other experience of, well, that didn't work before, this didn't work, here I am, there I go. So it's subjective. What does it feel like? Everybody has their own experience. Some people go into these moments where it's like, I'm okay, I'm good. Others may have a resistance. But resistance, that's the opportunity. Why am I resisting this? What is there to be afraid of? I wish that, that magic wand that I have, that I can make you do something you don't want to do, but I can't, but I can give you hope. And with hypnosis, we use your words. We take the time to get to know you, to understand how you take in information. It's very important. If you're very literal, then, I have to use your words. So this is your idea. This becomes your belief system. And it's about teaching you hope. And when we have hope, that's when the magic happens, is just having hope and having an open heart and an open mind.
Nita, let me ask you, so hypnosis, do you find that it can help an end of life person with pain management?
We have had many, many patients, and a lot of it is, again, the power of the belief, the power of the mind. So when we teach clients or patients, what does pain really mean? Remember, the power of words is so powerful. Pain means pain. Your subconscious brain understands pain is ouch, ooh, this hurts. I can't get over this. So when we reframe, this is discomfort. Now your brain kind of calms down a little bit. Okay, this is uncomfortable. This isn't pain. This isn't horrible. This is discomfort. How do I ease the pain? We go and we create a space in hypnosis where we find the pain. We acknowledge it. If you have pain in your heart, we say, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. We open our heart. We can also create images where we kind of throw away the pain, however it resonates to you. We have tools that we use where we put our pain in our non-dominant hand and we hold on to that pain while we allow our non-dominant hand to feel what comfort is, or to feel what is good for us. And we balance it out and we let the brain feel that we're doing something with this. It doesn't have, this pain doesn't belong to me. Maybe it's a part of me. A lot of times, too, the biggest part of reframing and understanding is we go into the why me? Why is this happening to me? And if we change the belief system that this is happening for me, now we open the door to hope, and what can I do for myself? And then it's also important to have a team. There is a reason why we do have medical doctors. There's a reason why we have therapists and different modalities out there, because they do work. It's just about us believing and having hope and just having an open mind. And, a lot of studies also show diseases created in the mind. So hypnosis and the mind, we go hand in hand.
Now, how about that made a lot of sense, by the way. Thank you. What about helping family members of a deceased loved one, help with their grief and their loss and their emotional pain? Is this something, a tool that could help them as well?
Yes, absolutely, because this is all about making peace. This is all about resolutions. And again, in hypnosis, what we do many modalities. Sometimes we can create a space where you create what I call the empty chair. It's a beautiful rocking chair. You can imagine a place that you loved being with your loved one. Maybe it's at the beach, maybe it's somewhere in the mountains. And you just sit and perhaps have a conversation. Give yourself permission to see and feel your loved one and have that conversation, whatever that may be. However, you get the peace. Maybe your loved one just shows up just to smile. I hear a lot of clients say, my loved one has never visited me in my dreams. I would do anything to see my loved one in my dreams. Well, it happens, but not sometimes not when we want it. So in hypnosis, we can actually create that. If you'd love to connect with your loved one and see them, maybe give them a hug, take a walk with them, have one more meal, one more trip. And those are the things, those are the new memories that we create. So it's just about finding a space where you can connect with your loved one. And then also learning the daily coping skills. What can I do every day to honor or to remember my loved one? I recommend on holidays, set up a table setting and leave a beautiful empty plate And that brings you to warmth when you kind of look over, hey, if my loved one wants to come, there's always a plate for them. So there's a lot of things that we can do to honor ours. Some people create, what they would call shrines. Okay, that's great. Other people like to have maybe a little piece of clothing, a little something that they create a pillow or maybe a little teddy bear. Sometimes people carry a picture, on their phone. Now we're in technology, but we can have a picture on the wall. We can have a picture within ourselves. So it's all about finding the thing that gives you the most comfort and brings you to the connection. Other people, sometimes, we all have senses. Some people are visual people. It's important to have something they see. Other people may be audio. So perhaps maybe you have a recording of your loved one's voice, or maybe their favorite song, and you can play that throughout the day or somewhere along your journey. Other people like to feel. So if you have something, maybe a shirt or even a picture, you can hold it. Now you're holding your loved one. Or if you're connected with smell, maybe find the perfume or just the little, spray or little
You're giving
candle.
me the chills now.
Okay. So there's a lot of ways we can connect
Yes,
with our loved ones, and again, it's all about believing, because if we believe that they're out there and we believe that we miss them, we can believe that we can always be there. Because truth is, I think we can all agree they will forever live in our hearts, and
that's right.
especially family members. We are beyond connected. That this isn't our neighbor we're talking about, although we can love our neighbor just as we love our friends and family. But when we're really connected, a soul connection, a genetic connection, they will forever, forever, indefinitely, and beyond live within us, just as we live with them, whether they're here in this present state or somewhere else.
And I
We
see the
believe
big
that.
smile, Lisa, on your
Yeah,
face. And
yeah,
I
because
know
this is what
why.
we,
We're reading each other's minds
yeah,
because
this is what we
Lisa
do.
and I
I,
see such parallels, right? In
yeah,
in this
yeah.
conversation.
We do. I want to go back to something because some people believe this is like a hocus pocus thing, okay? So tell me a little bit about the study of hypnotherapy and sort of the background of it and what how you got to do what you do. Because they do think it's like a magic thing that, happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Again, what we can all define what the definition of magic is. If magic is hocus pocus, then you can go to
So
stage
be it.
right? You
I
go to
believe in
stage
magic.
hypnotherapist, and if you want to be Elvis for the day, great. You can be Elvis for the day, or if you believe that there's hope and you believe that there's something more to it, science has shown that our neural paths are in the brain. We can regrow our brain, our belief systems, our core beliefs. These are things that are held in our subconscious mind. So the studies that have shown is that hypnotherapy, again, it just goes to the subconscious mind. We're just talking to the subconscious mind because in reality, that narrative is always running back there. There's always a conversation, whether it's a voice, whether it's a narrative, whether it's a feeling. There's something that's within all of us. So hypnosis shows that when we create the space where we quiet down our conscious mind, because our conscious mind is the one that's right here, right now, but that's only 10% of our thinking. Now we have this critical filter that determines what are we going to let come in? Is this safe? Do I believe in this? Oh no, this is not it. So the critical mind says, well, we're going to throw that out. Let's hold on to fear. Let's hold on to the past because that's safe. That's our homeostasis. But when we create that filter and we say, hey, we want to get into the party too, because everybody in that subconscious mind is having a good time with their beliefs, with their feelings, with their emotions. So studies are just showing that again, hypnosis is a place of meditation. If you believe in meditation, if you believe in prayer, if you believe in just having a moment for yourself, the hypnosis is really just a guided version of that. So we use words, we use images, we use things that make you feel, but again, it all comes from you. So if you can believe that you can't get over something, you can also believe that you can or that you might. And again, it's just the power of words. And, we use affirmations, and sometimes affirmations can be a little tricky because they may not resonate. So some people will say, I am just not going to get over this, and I am not going to do this because I don't believe that it's going to work. Okay, but how about if we bring some hope? I am becoming more open to trying something different. I am becoming more of myself. Then these words are gentler, they're kinder. The subconscious mind now has hope, and it's going to let the word become resonate. And then we become more suggestible. We become more open to trying other things. If we can try Western medication, we can also try Eastern medication. So I feel there's a lot of power to that, but it's all about your belief system. So just have given yourself the chance and the opportunity to believe that you got this, that we got this. And now you have a team.
Lisa and I are very open-minded to different types of tools
Mhm.
and modalities to use, especially in our topic, end of life. But I'm a believer, with everything that you're talking about. I'm getting the chills because this just seems to me to be such a powerful tool.
Mhm.
I'm a believer in meditation and visualization, and somehow it ties into me. But to have you there guiding them every step of the way, it's amazing. What kind of advice would you give to a person who's considering, thinking about um, hypnotherapy, involving it in the end of life care plan? Now, maybe again, it could be for them, it could be a family member, or even after. Would you give them any particular advice to decide to pick up that phone and make that phone call to you?
Absolutely. I would say, sit within yourself. Go with your intuition. We all have an intuition. Go with your hope. Go with an open mind and an open heart. And when you're ready, everything is one day at a time, although sometimes it may feel like 1 second at a time, right? 1 second by second. But yet time moves on. Things go very quickly. And it's first you need to recognize, where are you? Are you ready? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to sometimes it's okay to stay where we're at. We don't have to move as fast as others. We're not defined on how fast things need to go or how slow they need to go. It's about what feels right for you. How can you manage this? And having the tools and the support that one day at a time, things will get better. But we also know that, some days are good days, some days are bad days, but regardless, they still belong to me. And I am in control of whether I'm going to have the best day, a good day, a bad day, or an awful day. But what do I do with that day? So I encourage people to just come to a place where you have a plan, or perhaps you say you don't know. It is so powerful when we say, I don't know. Again, that part of our brain just shuts down and goes to everything else we didn't know. So in hypnosis, and even before hypnosis, we know we work together. Well, what do you know? Well, I know I don't want to stay like this. Okay, so you actually know something. So now we start debunking what we don't know, what we want to know, and all these answers are always within us. They may not be available when we need them in the moment if we're in fight flight, but the truth is the answers are within us. So with hypnosis, it's about helping you find those answers, find those tools, and move forward with what works for you, because we're all individuals. We are not classified by a book, by a story, by a movie. At the end of the day, we are one. And but in a way we do connect. I am you as you are me. Grief and hurt and happy and sad, we can all resonate with, but it's just about finding the space and finding a place where you can just take a deep breath and find a place for yourself and find something that works for you.
And
Todd,
Lisa and I have discussed many times, sorry, Lisa, about uh, that people grieve in so many ways. So I imagine you work with so many different types of grief, and that could be divorce, that could be
Absolutely.
a number of things. Losing a job can be really tragic for a
Yes, yes.
certain person. Um, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there any memorable success story that pops to your mind of somebody that you've helped? And maybe it was an end of life situation, maybe not, but something that you like to share with people on how helpful it could be?
Well, I continue a lot of my clients, I'm an open book and open door. So my door is never shut. You can always find me. We will always find a way to connect. I stay in close relations with families. I've attended many beautiful services where it's been an honor and a blessing that you kind of go to a complete stranger and the family's like, "Oh, and they resonate and you're there and the tears in the heart and it's all just being a part of somebody that went through either something you may have gone through or really a lot of these experiences are things that I may experience myself. So it's almost like, having a window to what else is out there. What else are others experiencing? If I'm in this moment, how can I help in this moment? But how can I use the tools from this experience to move forward, whether it's going to be my experience or somebody else's? A lot of my clients report that they just find their own peace, their comfort, their purpose. They say that they just are able to resonate with acceptance. And that I really think is the biggest one.
Mm.
Acceptance is just absolutely number one. And whether it's first, last, or in the middle, acceptance is the biggest one because everything else is just something that we may or may not have to go through. So it's focusing, on the acceptance. So I've had a lot of family members say that they've accepted it. A lot of family members say that they finally slept at night. They weren't scared. They weren't worried. What am I going to do without my loved one? Or in other situations, people losing their job or a relationship or even a pet. Those are our people too, or our hearts. So I've had various clients that just come to a place where they are lost. Sometimes they don't believe they are seen or they're heard. As we know to an experience, talking to different people, you may get somebody to say to you, "Well, get over it. It's been long enough," or "How much longer are you going to sit around and do this?" Or then you have other people that truly understand. Or sometimes we find people that kind of outshadow us. Well, I went through this too, and how can yours be worse than mine? And then here we go down this kind of a spiral because it's like, well, here I came to be seen or heard, and I just kind of got put in the back seat again. So in hypnosis, it's just a safe space. It's a space for you to create what will work for you. It's a space for you to figure out what you can and can't do, what you want to do. And again, going back to your wants, because if we come from a place of need, a lot of times needs come from lack. And if we were never seen, never heard, and we need to get over this and we need to move on or we need to just avoid, then we stay in the same place. So if we change that, we reframe that and we say, I want to be whole or I want to be free or I want to accept this, that brings us hope. And wants and desires and hopes and wishes, we usually get it. If you want a new pair of shoes, you're going to get a new pair of shoes, right? But if you need a new pair of shoes, sometimes it's a little hard to figure out how can I get those. So I know that may not be the best analogy, but I think it's
It's a good one.
pretty, pretty, pretty simple, or so sounds like.
So this works through Zoom. It used to always be a personal thing in person, but it works through Zoom as well, and it's as
Absolutely.
powerful.
Absolutely, because it's all about being in a safe space. As long as you have a space where it's quiet, no interruptions. You can do this on your bed, on your couch. Of course, not driving, but we want to create a safe space for you, and we can do it through Zoom, through phone. And I am in California, so I do have two locations, physical locations in Southern California. So there's many avenues, and this is the blessing of technology, right? We can connect to people from all over the world. So we do have avenues. We do have different ways of doing things. But yes, absolutely. Just it's all about the power of the voice and just listening, being able to close your eyes, to visualize, to picture, pretend, imagine. You could really do that anywhere.
And how do your sessions work? Is it a one-time thing? Does somebody need to book 3 or 4 sessions to have a breakthrough? Is it something that somebody does for months at a time?
Well, again, everything is subjective. So I've had clients that come for 1 or 2 sessions and they're like, "Okay, I'm good. I got the tools. I'm using the tools." They'll check in when they need to. I've had clients that stay for 6 to 12 sessions. I've had clients for 2 to 3 years. Everything is just subjective because as we know in life, we may get a hold of one thing, but oh boy, there's always something else, and again, that's where our subconscious mind is like, well, great, you got rid of that. Now what am I going to do? What else is there left for me to do? So it will always find something to kind of pick and poke because it wants to know that it's doing its job. It wants to know that it's there and it's not being ignored. So, as we know in life, anything can happen. So, also when we start to change habits and belief systems, sometimes we may trigger another one. So, some people may replace an emotional aspect with a habit. Some people start smoking. Some people go into other addictions. Some people go to food for comfort. So again, that just goes by how do I comfort? What are my coping mechanisms? So that can lead to things that other opportunities that we may have that we didn't even recognize because again, the show is always running, just unknown to us. It may be very quiet, it may be very loud, but there's always a programming that's running in the background. I mean, overall, it's just a personal experience and it's up to you. You're welcome to come for one session and you're welcome to come for an infinity of sessions. It's just all about what you need.
Yeah. As
That
with many tools,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
Many
That's right.
tools, from yoga to massage to what's the one with the little needles that everybody loves so
Acupuncture.
much?
Acupuncture.
Oh, I couldn't think of the word. I was having a brain cramp there.
Yeah.
And you find that, wow, I like this and this helps me. And
Mhm.
that's the whole point, I think, of this, to find a tool that can turn into peace,
Right.
something that's a positive and that can help you to move forward or not be stuck or just make you feel good for the time that you engage.
Mhm.
Um, wow,
Right.
incredible information.
Well, just
Right.
imagine, our body is like a car, right? You got to put gas in it, you have to put oil, you have to put water. And so just imagine, what is the most expensive thing that you were given or is it's your mind, your body, your feelings, your emotions. So we have to take care of those, however we look at it, whether we consider ourselves a vessel where we're a car and we got to go, 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 or maybe you look at yourself like a beautiful plant. If you don't water it, if you don't feed it, well, it may not grow or it may, may go the other way, right? So it's about, all kinds of therapy, I believe, are really lifelong because, again, the tools will be there. So we use them or we lose them, but we also in life will come through other challenges. So it's important to have tools and tools change. Again, new studies come out. We're in a different place. Today we may show up for grief, but 3 days from now we may be like, oh, you know what? I already got that. How do I deal with my neighbor, or how do I deal with my weight loss? How do I quit smoking? So there's always an opportunity within us, and we just don't know when that opportunity is going to knock.
Are there people who this is more difficult to reach? Because people have all different perspectives and all. And some have more challenging. They look at something and say, "Are you kidding me? That doesn't work," or,
That's like
that
the
kind of
third
thing.
time you've asked that same question, I've noticed.
Because
I,
there's so
I
many
wonder if
people.
Lisa's having some mental blocks here going
There are
on.
so many people who say to me, "Ah, that's crazy. That's rubbish. And they're just not open. They're just not.
Well,
It might not be right for them then.
well, again, it's like any other tool, right? Some people refuse to do, Western medicine like chemo because they just don't believe in it. And have do we have studies showing that they have survived? Absolutely. Have we had study, showing the opposite? Unfortunately. It's just really about that belief system. And I always like to when I get the challenge of this is crazy, and I'm like, what's crazier? Is it crazier to stay the same? Is it crazier
Mm,
to not move forward? Is it crazier
Well,
to
isn't that
mm,
the definition of insanity?
that's right.
Right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and
Expecting
being
different
stuck
results.
in and
Mhm.
expect different results, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So usually when I get them to, so what's crazy? Well, it's crazy that I can't get over this. And I'm like, okay, so what about hypnotherapy? They very quickly go, okay, never mind. But again, a lot of it comes from, again, the exposure out there. So most hypnotherapists are known for having a little clock, dingling something in front of your eyes,
Yeah,
which is actually a tool. It is a part of
It
meditation.
is.
right? So it's not as crazy as it sounds. A lot of people, resonate with what they've seen on TV shows. Well, this isn't a TV show, although the movie can be yours, and you can create your own movie. But it's also, a lot of stage hypnotherapy. So there is a difference. There are two different things. It's very powerful to, cluck like a chicken or to just be in a place where you're calm. So I explained hypnotherapy again, that hypnotherapy is not woo woo, or it may be, what if you do believe in woo woo? Well, then come on down, come one, come all. If you think it's crazy, come on over. But it's about, it's just really a guided meditation using your words, things that will
Right.
resonate with you, not just something that somebody else threw out there. Now, does that mean that generic stuff does or doesn't work? Again, that's just going to be subjective. And if you're open, why not? But again,
And
it's
you have a
just,
beautiful voice,
thank you.
for somebody to engage in. Uh, you mentioned the word weight loss, you mentioned the word addiction. Are these two other kinds of clients that you take on?
Yeah, so I have a lot of success. I myself not only am a client, or a hypnotherapist, but a client. I've lost 100 pounds with hypnosis.
Ooh,
Wow.
Had
Wow.
several
congratulations.
clients lose a lot of weight, so that's been very, very resonating and very rewarding. We work with different addictions, from sugars to not necessarily alcohol, but habits of why we go there. And there's just various things that you work for. We do with a lot of smoking. That's usually the most common. The fears and phobias, fears of flying, fears of, going to a meeting. But now kind of the world has changed a little bit, and a lot of my clients come for fear of being confident, fear of being successful, fear of letting go, fear of moving on with relationships, because again, we've just become a world where things are a little crazy out there.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
And this is all ages and all stages of life. Is that
Yes,
right?
all ages, all stages. I've also successfully had 6 hypnobirths. So there's a lot there's a lot out there.
Hi, Lucy.
Tell
Oh,
us about
yes.
that. A hypnobirth.
To get you, Susan. I knew I was coming for you. So I have had clients that just, again, did not want to go with Western medicine. They did not want to have epidurals. They did not want to go through the medication. And we did hypnobirthing. So it's about putting them in a place where they're calm. Again, is this pain? Is this discomfort? Seeing themselves already as mom, not becoming mom, or when is this going to happen? So just finding a place where, again, they can control their thoughts, their emotions and be present, because that's the most important. Now, some people are like, what do you mean present? I'm here, I'm having the baby. How much more present can I be? Well, you may be physically present, but if you're not mentally present, a
Mm.
lot of emotions, a lot of things can, happen because we're not in control. We're actually not present. We're just there in the moment, but the mind and the body are not connected.
Yeah,
Wow.
that reminds me of my breathing for 21 hours. I mean, I was controlling that breathing.
Mhm,
And Lamaze was very powerful, being
mhm,
able to deal with the pain and all.
yeah.
Yeah. So you put yourself in a place, right? In a better place.
Well, listen, if somebody wants to reach out to you, can you give us that information?
Hmm.
Absolutely. So my website is www.hypnotherapybyaneta.com, and my name is spelled Aneta. You can always reach out through my cell phone, which is 818-322-9976. And then my email is the same, just hypnotherapybyaneta.com. And I also have on Instagram, my handle is challenges to changes. So I do put out quite a bit of content on there. And then, moving forward, you'll see me on YouTube. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. So the best is yet to come. So I am working on more social medias to reach more people.
The email is a Gmail, right? At
Yes, Gmail.
gmail.com. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Really cool, Anita. Really cool work. And how long have you been doing this for?
Well, I kind of feel like maybe since I was just a little person, I feel like I was always that go-to person. People, always, what would you do? What would I'm the youngest out of my cousins, siblings, but yet I feel like I was always that old soul in the room. I went through the journey through around high school, a lot of things had changed. There's also a lot of cultural things. I was born in Poland. So, coming to America was a big change, and not having family and being disconnected and recreating a new life and trying to understand, why are my parents still thinking that there's a war outside when we're just in Los Angeles, and, what's going on here? So there was a lot of cultural things to learn. And then I decided to go into my journey started originally with shaman work. So that was a lot of personal journeys that deal with inner child work, understanding again why and how a lot of this stuff does go back to our childhood. It does make us who we are. And then in my 30s, I unfortunately lost my dad. And that moment I made the decision, well, he died, so did I. And then it was kind of, well, how do I live now? My children were looking at me like, where's our mom? It affected my job, my home, my whole entire life. And so I started to go into every and any therapy. And if you think hypnotherapy is crazy, I think there are some crazier things out there. So guess who was doing
Oh,
it? I was out there doing it all.
Yeah.
And then I found hypnotherapy and I went to school 5 years ago. So through the years, I have done a lot of just online courses, certificates until I went into hypnosis, I was like, yeah, okay, this is nuts. I don't believe in this. I have especially because of the culture, there is a negative association to overall therapy, period. Forget hypnosis. How about
Yes.
just regular traditional therapy? So there
Sure.
was a lot of taboo and a lot of shame and guilt and a lot of we don't talk about things outside
Right.
the house. You need to, where's the bus to come get you because you can't do this stuff. And then about 5 years ago is when I had my aha moment. And like I said, I needed more, I wanted more, and I knew that I needed to study this. I needed to really get into this to validate for myself because it was important. I needed to not only have the experience, but understand why I had the experience to even get a bigger aha moment.
fantastic. Well, this
Yeah.
was such wonderful information. Really, honestly, I was very excited through the whole video here.
Thank
Um, I love learning about new
Me
things,
too.
and you can always find what's right for you. But in order to move forward and to grow and learn, you need to give yourself a chance and you need to try different things and
Right.
find the one that's right for you.
Right.
So we were very honored to have you on today as Anita as our
Thank
guest.
you.
Can you repeat your phone number and email one more time?
Sure. So my phone number is 818-322-9976. And my email is hypnotherapy by Aneta, and that's ANETA.com.
At gmail.com.
Sorry. Yes.
Gmail.
The
Got it.
email is
Okay.
at Gmail. So hypnotherapy by
Okay.
Aneta at Gmail
Okay, great. And your website again?
is the hypnotherapy by Aneta.com.
Great. Great.
Wonderful. Do
We
you have any
appreciate
questions?
sharing everything
Yeah.
about your life, Anita,
Having
and
me,
how you
thank you
came to
for what
this.
you do. Because again, we are a team. We all collectively, we're here. We all have a purpose. So it's truly an honor to be here and to collaborate and just to help, one person at a time, one day at a time.
We
And a
believe
wonderful
that.
resource you are to both of us
You
today.
you
So
are.
that's
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. Likewise. And I look forward to doing more adventures. Maybe we can even do a hypnosis session where we can give
Ooh,
an
that's
experience.
cool. That would be really cool.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay, Lisa.
great.
So
Thank
Lisa,
you.
I look forward to seeing you again next week.